I'm going to ask a question before I start. Oh, thank you, Grant. We know that a group of bees is called a swarm, right? Do you know what a group of frogs is called? It's called an army. I only learnt that myself last night. There you go. So a group of frogs, a collective noun, is an army of frogs. Well, I've got a frog story this morning, okay? I've got to make sure I do the right thing here. This army of frogs lived by the pond, and they lived in a beautiful spot. One day they decided that they would go out into the bush and go walking, hopping I should say, shouldn't I? And off they went. Oh, you can count them, that's lovely. All right, she's counting the frogs. And off they went out into the bush. As they were hopping along, suddenly 2 of them fell into a hole. And it was quite a deep hole. And the other frogs were up there looking in and thinking, oh, they'll never get out. There's no way that they can get out. And so the 2 frogs down the bottom thought, oh no, will we be able to get out or won't we? The ones up the top, you can see them looking in there, were saying, it's too hard to get out. It's too hard to get out. But the 2 down the bottom said to each other, we've got to try, we've got to try. So they started to jump. They started to jump up the sides, and the others up the top were saying, it's too hard, it's too hard. And the other frogs kept going and kept jumping, and they'd go so far, and then because it was dirt, they'd slide back down again. But they kept jumping, but the ones up the top kept saying, it's too hard, it's too hard. And here you can see them trying and trying to get up to the top. They kept jumping. Anyway, these frogs were listening to the ones up the top. And one of them thought to himself, it is too hard. I can't do it. And he fell back down and died. But the other frog kept going, kept jumping, trying to get to the top. And eventually, he got to the top. And when the other frog said to this frog that got to the top, how come you got here and the other one didn't? And the frog said, I'm deaf. I thought you were cheering me on, so I kept going. Whereas the other one had heard what they said, it's too hard, and he gave up. And you know, sometimes in life, things are like that happen to us too, don't it? Somebody says to you, you can't do it. It's too hard. Don't listen to them, all right? Because if you try and you listen to those who are encouraging you, you will find that you will have an interesting time.